Hey y'all, welcome back to N Youthy. We changed their name because we can do whatever we want when we're sexy. So
Absolutely.
I'm Mel Mosley. I don't know why I started first, but fuck yeah. And we're just gonna introduce ourselves.
Hello, my name is Lucy Rydell. You can find me at Lucy Rydell on TikTok, and welcome to Thick and Youthy.
I'm at Ethiopian Gal on TikTok, and welcome.
And yours truly, my name is Christian, but I go by Comedian Shin. And
It's gonna be a great show. Today's topic is all about crime. You know what a crime is, yeah? We're all aware what a crime is?
no, I actually
Yeah.
don't know. Can you explain to me, please?
Yeah, I can absolutely talk about what a crime is. So basically, a crime is something that is defined by the state, right? Let's start there, okay? A crime is something that is defined by the state as when you break a law, okay? And laws are something that are done regardless of morality, right? That's something that I think we need to be really clear about. Laws are put in place whether they're put in place, some are put in place for morality reasons, like don't kill people. That's put in place because it's like, okay, that's a moral law. Then there's some laws that are put in place to uphold the power of the state. For example, gerrymandering or, making weed illegal. These are actually laws that are put in place.
What's gerrymandering?
You don't know what gerrymandering means? Have you
For
never heard
real.
the term of your life?
For real. I've heard it, but
Heard the term.
I'm not a criminal, so I don't know.
But basically, it is when politicians get to choose their voters. So
Gerrymandering.
politicians choose their district, but they get to draw the line so crazy that they get to basically pick how they get elected. And by doing this, they get to keep themselves in power for 30, 40, 50 years at a time.
No.
Now, this doesn't apply to like states, for example. The state is the state. But when you do this at the city level, you can manipulate the politics at the city level, at the state level, at the state government level. And this has a huge influence because that's how you pick your state judges. That's how you pick your city level judges and your city level district officials. And that has a huge level of politics involved in that. The reason why I just want to circle back, just to say that crime is done both to break moral laws, like pedophiles. We all agree that's a crime.
Yep.
That is an immoral crime to commit, right? However, there's also crimes that are done that just are moral crimes that we don't care about the morality of them, but all they do is break the power of the state. For example, the peaceful protests that are trying to be outlawed by the power of the police state right now.
This is America. Don't got you slipping up. Look how I'm living up. Police be tripping up. Yeah, this is America. Hey.
That is just breaking the power of the state. And so they're trying to declare it illegal. We can see this by some tweets that have actually been sent by police departments saying the curfews will remain in place until the protests stop. Not until the violent protests stop. Not until the riots stop. Until the protests stop. Tweets have been sent. So I just wanted to make that brief distinction when we talk about crime, because especially when I'm talking with my moderate parents or some centrists or some Republicans who aren't yet Nazis, the people who are more toward the center, those people, they don't seem to have that distinction in their minds because they were brainwashed for 30 years on the war on drugs.
Yeah.
And it takes time to overcome that brainwashing. We need to meet them in the middle in terms of our messaging. We need to understand their logic and try to get them out of that logic. We need to meet them there and get them out of that pond. You know what I mean?
I hear you. Now, with crimes, and this is for everyone, so speak up if you got them. What's a crime that you find dumb? One that we need, if you could abolish, you could get rid of, what would it be? A dumb crime or a funny crime?
I say like the making like weed legal everywhere. For me, that's
Legalize
dumb.
everything.
Literally, especially with like Black people that have went to jail because they were selling weed or they were selling, you know, drugs, but like
Expunge.
white people don't. So for me, that's probably the dumbest one that I can think of. But,
I love
I got a good one. How about felons not being allowed to vote? That
That's so
without
true.
taxation, without representation, honey. The whole thing this
Yeah.
country is founded on. If you committed a crime, not being able to vote, it's fucking unrelated.
right?
Unrelated. This has only been done because 13% of Black people can now not vote. Do you realize?
Yes.
The stats are staggering, okay? This is done on purpose. You know what I mean? This is absolutely done on purpose. The reason being that the prison industrial complex is done for slave labor, right? But the bonus is that once you get out, you can only expunge your record if you can afford to do it. And of course, who cannot afford to do it? The people that are never given reparations, right?
Yeah.
The people who are in that hole that the white people dug for them and that the white people never filled with the 40 acres of land and the mule, you know what I mean? So they're in this hole that they now cannot dig themselves out of because they were never given the tools to do so, rightfully then. And now 13% of the Black population cannot vote. So when you say, take your voice to the fucking polls, how condescending can you fucking be?
What voice? You took it away from us. But yeah,
And then you say, well, they're criminals, they don't deserve to be able to vote. Well, actually, we just talked about not all crime is the result of immorality. Not all crime is the result of immorality. Some crime is just the result of trying to take power away from the state. And we can see this in the fact that Black Panthers leaders are still locked up in prison today, when their only crime is trying to start free school breakfast and lunch for kids of all colors.
Well, my crime would be an Arizona crime. You can't have more than 7 dildos in a household. So it's not as good as yours, Lucy, but I would get rid of that. At least make it 8 or 9, because then that's too
at
many.
least 10.
10,
Oh, I have
right?
another good one.
Like,
Yeah.
why is it odd
One that was,
number?
yeah, I have another good one that was like a law that I don't know if it's actually still in the books, but it was on the books, and it's one of those ones that goes around as a wives' tale kind of thing in Boston. But you could not have more than, I believe, 5 or 8 women live together in Boston, because then it was a brothel. And so that is why you still cannot have sorority houses in Boston.
Because they think, oh my gosh, old laws is what making this whole world horrible. Because we're following instructions from people who lived when there was no internet, when there was no lights. Well, maybe when there were lights, I guess. But when there was no basic shit to tell you how the world really is. Now the world's changed and we can't even. We got people arrested for stupid shit. You see those videos of the kids getting arrested for jaywalking? Like, walking across the street, that's something anyone with common sense should be able to do. And to get arrested for it, like, we know why they're getting arrested, but we shouldn't have laws like that at all. The no voting because you're a felon? Really? Like, I feel like felons are like the least informed, so even if they did vote, what if they voted for the other person? What if they voted for
I feel like felons are some of the most informed people I've ever fucking met.
Really?
Yes, felons have been in the system and they know that the state is fucking out to get you. You know what I mean? Whenever I end up, this is just completely anecdotal, but whenever I end up on prison TikTok, those people are the most informative fucking people on the planet. They know the ins and outs of the justice system like no one I've ever fucking met. I'm talking, I will be completely honest, I am talking about the Black men on TikTok and not the white ones. The black men are prison TikTok and not the white ones, because the white ones are usually in there for fucked up shit.
Shortly after Sebastian Erzadon is arrested, officers give the double murder suspect water and begin dressing his wounds. Within minutes, social media erupts with images like this one, showcasing the different police treatment for the suspect in Tennessee versus George Floyd, the suspect in Minnesota. Even celebrities like Snoop Dogg weighed in, writing, "Would you like a steak with your water after you killed 2 people?"